Hi. What you have just heard is what Nord calls their White Grand. It's sampled from a Steinway B acoustic piano, and it's one of the many wonderful piano libraries inside of this Nord Grand 2. And you're going to hear another one in just a moment. But I'm so impressed with the variety of acoustic pianos and all the wonderful sounds inside of this instrument. It's some of the best I've ever played on any digital instrument I've owned. So why doesn't this Nord Grand 2 work for me? Well, I was hoping to find an instrument that would do it all. Not only have great onboard sounds, but have a good piano action and function as a MIDI controller to control virtual piano libraries. Unfortunately, this Nord Grand 2 only checks one of those three boxes. As a MIDI controller, the triple sensor action is only functional when you use this action with the onboard sounds. The moment you send out a MIDI message, it sends it out as a dual sensor MIDI message. Any MIDI messages coming into this piano, even from a triple sensor controller like the one behind me, is interpreted as a dual sensor. And Nord is aware of this. I spoke with them about it, and they said it's not unlikely that there will be a firmware update in the future that would change that and address that. But it's been like that for a number of years, and it's the same across all of the Nord instruments at this time that have triple sensor actions. So unfortunately, that disqualifies it for me as a MIDI controller, because when you're playing acoustic pianos, it's nice to have triple sensor technology. How about the action? This is a Kawai, a modified Kawai responsive hammer 3 action. From what I can tell, the modifications are: number 1, they remove the simulated escapement. Number 2, they remove the variable weights in the hammer. So all the hammers weigh the same. On the inside, they're marked either B3 or W3 for black or white key. And I would imagine they took the bass region of the Kawai RH3 action and just spread it across the keyboard, because it's about 87 grams to fully depress a key to get the lowest MIDI value of about 1 to 3 to actually trigger a note. And it doesn't feel like a heavy action. Where I struggle with this action is the upweight, the amount of force pushing against your fingers when you play. It's higher than any digital piano action I've ever owned, and higher than any acoustic action I probably will ever play. Just to put this into perspective, I play a mid-sized Yamaha acoustic grand action regularly, and the upweight on that is about 25 to 35 or so grams. The upweight on this digital piano action behind me, this Numa X piano with the TP400 action, has a graded hammer action weight, so it's about 45 grams upweight in the bass region, down to 35 grams in the treble. This Kawai, the Kawai action in this Nord Grand 2 has an upweight across the entire keyboard of 65 grams. That's a lot. That's a lot pushing against your fingers. Let me give you an illustration. Here is a 50-gram weight. I'm going to place it both on the Numa behind me and then also on the Nord, so you can see what I'm talking about. 50-gram weight on the Numa. Doesn't quite lift it all the way. There it is on the Kawai. Look at it in slow motion. It literally lifts it off of the key. With that amount of upweight, this action feels less like an acoustic action and more like a spring-loaded synth action. Something else I've noticed too is the difference between playing in the front of the keys and the back of the keys is quite noticeable. Here's an excerpt where I'll do a little arpeggio flourish, and you'll get to hear the White Grand again. Now that was at the front of the keys. In this next excerpt, I'll play a similar arpeggio flourish in the back of the keys, and you'll get to hear the Yamaha S6, which is inside of this Nord Grand 2. I really like the sound of that Yamaha S6. Another one of those wonderful pianos inside of this Nord Grand 2. So not only is this action a very springy action, but it's noticeably more difficult to play from the front of the keys to the back of the keys. And not only that, the action feels overall to me very plasticky. If you were to look at this action, the frame that holds it all together, that holds everything in place, is plastic. And it makes it feel, I hate to say cheap, but less substantial, perhaps I should say, under your fingers. It just has a plasticky feel to it. As opposed to the action in this Numa, the TP400 action, the frame that holds all the components together is metal, and it makes for a much more rigid and solid feel. So I think if you're looking for a traditional acoustic action, something that feels more like an acoustic piano, this might not satisfy you. However, if you like to play super fast, lightning fast licks and you like that super fast springy rebound feel, or if you play organs and synth sounds, maybe this might be something you find appealing. But in the end, it really doesn't work for me, therefore I'm going to have to send it back. But I really love the Nord sounds. Is there a solution to this? Maybe there is. How about a Nord Stage 4 Compact? You'll have to wait for another video to hear more about that. Thank you for watching, and God bless.